Question of the day. What's your favorite abstract game that has a theme just kind of pasted onto it? Or I shouldn't say pasted onto it, but just added to it to where it really wouldn't matter. I mean, you could change the theme and it wouldn't matter at all. And that's not meant to be a knock, because I like abstract games, but some of them are too abstract where I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just putting wooden walls up against this wooden pond, right? So I appreciate a theme in an abstract game. I think I've mentioned that in something relatively recently, actually. But what is your favorite abstract game that has a theme? Because today we're talking about Hanamikoji. Now, this is a very popular game. I'm pretty sure Sam Healy used to absolutely love this game, but I couldn't find it forever. And they finally released it here in the States. Hanamikoji is a card game where you have a set number of cards that are you get shuffled up from the deck. One of them is hidden. Anyway, we'll talk how to play it in just a minute, but then we'll come back and talk final thoughts. But let me know in the comments below what your favorite of any abstract game with a theme is. All right, so here's Hanamikoji set up. It's a very simple setup. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take the cards, shuffle them up, obviously. Take one, put it to the side, hidden, and then you're going to deal out 2 stacks to each player, or 1 stack to each player, I should say. So let me separate these out. Then you're going to look at your cards, and then you'll have 4 actions to do. Switch first player between games, but our cards, for instance, would be this. So you look at these. This item is associated with this geisha. Then you have the tea kettle here. You have the that's a stringed instrument. I can't remember the name of it. Maybe a lyre, lute, whatever, one of the two. Parasols here. This is the scroll. This is the fans, and this is the flute over there. Same thing here. In your items, you're going to go through and you're going to be trying to assign a highest number to, or excuse me, the most amount of cards to each geisha. The person who has the most amount of cards there on either side gets the favor for that round. So if we won this one, we would win her favor and get 5 points. Obviously, the point of the game is to get 11 points. The way this works is these 4 actions. We'll go through these. 1 is you take one of your cards and hide it face down secretly, so the other person doesn't know what you're going to use. That's useful because basically, since one card is unknown and you have one hidden card, they can't know for sure what's left in your hand. So they might think, okay, well, naturally I've got to get this 5-point one, but if you can pull enough small points away from them, you can win and get to 11 before they do by either removing some of their points or adding some of your own. So then you have this one. This is discard 2. Now these can be played in any order. You discard 2 cards. You choose 2 of your cards that will not score during the round. This one is a I pick, you choose, but a different type. You're going to lay down 3 cards face up. They'll take 1 from you, and you'll take the other 2 they do not choose. This one is also a you pick, I choose. You set 2 pairs down. Well, not pairs, 2 sets of 2 cards. So 4 cards, 2 sets, 2 cards. They will choose first, you get what's left. So you kind of have to think through, okay, do I want to give these 2 cards as a choice and these 2 cards, hoping to distract them from thinking, well, what do they really want? Because essentially, when you're picking from the other player, you have to balance out what do I want versus what will hurt them the most. And so that's the entirety of the game. Once all the cards are played, you're going to score, and each of these that has the most cards under it will go to the player who has the most cards. So this would be 5 points. Now what could happen is the next round, this stays here. So this person still has 5 points. But if I take this, now that player has the 3 points there. First player to hit 11 wins. There is a kind of a sudden death mode that I don't prefer. I think you just play the game to 11 points, but you can play until someone has the most points in 3 rounds. But it plays so fast that seems, I mean, maybe if you got to like 9 rounds in and it was like an Alabama-Auburn overtime and then finally you crush them. But other than that, I think you just play to the 11 points. So that's Hanamikoji. That's how it's played. It's probably not pronounced like that, but in my Southern Alabama English, that's what we're going to go with, Hanamikoji. But that game that's pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward. You get a hand of cards. You play those actions based on those cards, those 4 different actions. One secret. One's almost like I pick, you choose. And then the other one's I pick, you choose. And then the other one is discard. And that's all you can do. But that just simplicity with the not perfect knowledge of knowing, okay, not only do I not know what cards they have, for the most part, 3 of them, yeah, you don't know what 3 of the other cards are, but you also don't know the card that's in the box that's hidden. And at that point, you have to think, well, wait a minute. Can I gamble on the fact that I've put the right card here. So let's backtrack a little bit, talk art. First of all, the game looks nice. The theme is pretty cool. Obviously, it's the Japanese culture, the geishas and all that sort of stuff in this theme, but it's not so much a theme about that. Again, you could change this to trying to impress the emperor of an alien colony from Twilight Imperium. It doesn't matter. But the art that's in the game is nice. I don't like the pastelish colors as much as something more like Michael Menzel or something like that, but it still does look good, and it works, especially considering the items that you're giving match up with the colors, and so the art direction and art design is there. But the game is not an art-driven game at all. Like I said, this could be done with blank cards and numbers. But the play is so good. It's so simple. I mean, all you're doing is something so absolutely incredibly simple. Until somebody hits 11 points. Now, there's the force of 3 rounds if you want, but I think that if you really want to get the most out of this, the meat out of this of the person you're playing against, especially if you both enjoy it, you don't. You force the game to keep playing. Otherwise, there's really no point in doing the point value at that point. You know, the hitting 11 points and going to it until somebody hits it, to me, is more exciting because it is a tug of war. Literally, you're pulling the token from that side to this side if you gain it that round versus the next round. So all in all, very, 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 very simple to play, very easy to learn. The kind of pushing your luck and bidding, and not so much bidding, but guessing and hoping you can outsmart the other player with such little information, but also such little information needed in the entire game, makes Hanamikoji just an absolutely perfect, almost perfect, I should say, because nothing's quite perfect, but almost perfect 2-player game. It's one of the best I've ever played, and it will stay in the collection and will be up there with, you know, Lost Cities and things like that are just the 2-player games that we always go to and quickly throw down. So Hanamikoji is a big win. Huge fan of this. If you haven't seen it, if you hadn't got your hands on it because you've heard people talking about it for years, but you've been looking for it, now's the time to get it. Go pick up Hanamikoji right now. I'm Bryan Drake, Dice Tower, at Dice Tower Bryan. The new pterodactyl thing. It's pretty great. Go support the Kickstarter. See you soon.